here. We are live here on the African American Network, and today we're going to be discussing so many things about how to make an impact. Again, this is the African American Network, TAN TV, where we have a local feel but a global reach. I'm your host for the evening, Dr. Lauren Scott. I am the executive director for the Community for Life Foundation, and today we are stopping by to discuss the Community for Life Foundation Scholarship Fund, founded in 2001 by Keith and Demetrius Graham. And our goal has always been to equip and empower students so they can pursue their God-given potential. To date, we have given over $800,000, $813,000 to more than 350 students. So today, we'll be talking to former students and current scholarship leadership. We're going to be talking about talking to premier sponsors from Wells Fargo. That's Mr. Dion Gamble, who helped us give $70,000 last year. So again, sit back, relax, and let's get ready to talk about how we can make an impact with the Community for Life Foundation. Excuse me. But first, we're going to talk to a former recipient who is one of the leading executives in the NBA. He's the assistant GM of the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's a San Antonio native. He was given NBA's 40 under 40 in 2022. And we are going to talk to none other than Mr. Bryson Graham of the New Orleans Pelicans. Hello, welcome to the episode here. We are talking about scholarships. We are the representation of Community for Life Foundation. My name is Dr. Lauren Scott, the executive director, and we have a show in collaboration with the African American Network, TAN TV. That's right, that has a local feel with a global reach. We're going to start the show with one of our highest esteemed recipients. He is a former Community for Life recipient, a San Antonio native. He is the assistant GM of New Orleans Pelicans, and about a couple of years ago, he was NBA's 40 under 40. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We want to introduce you to Mr. Bryson Graham. Hello, Bryson. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Dr. Scott. Appreciate you for having me.
Well, it's definitely a blessing, and I know you're on the road and very busy, so thank you for giving us some time to talk about the Community for Life Foundation, the importance of essentially going to college or any post-secondary education, and then just achieving your dreams, all right? So I want to just go ahead and you're currently the assistant GM of New Orleans Pelicans. You were recently awarded the NBA's 40 under 40. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey from college to the NBA?
Sure. So I went to Texas A&M University at College Station and received a 4-year bachelor's degree in human resource management with a minor in business. But I always knew that since I played basketball growing up, I always knew that I wanted to work in sports. And I wanted to work on the business side of sports, and your network is really, really, really important. And at the time, I didn't really understand that concept, and I was making a network when I was playing at Texas A&M, and so I was able to meet my future boss during that process, and he took a liking unto me, and it all started with me just basically going up to him and asking if I could help him. And then from there, that relationship grew. And so although I pursued a lot of jobs in the NBA, that transition from college to what I do now all started with a relationship. And so that power of getting to know the people that are in positions of power is really, really important when you're trying to transition from college into that next phase of life. You're going to need someone. And I met that person. For me, his name was Dell Demps. And then from there, it's just been, steady growth throughout the organization.
Outstanding. Yeah. So I would ask you, we have some young people that are going to be watching this episode. And so why would, connecting or these relationships or even learning leadership skills be so important for our young people?
Yeah, well, I mean, your leadership it's in every act of life. I'm a father now of 3. And so, look, even if you're not in a real position of leadership at work, if you want to be a father, you're going to be a leader. You know,
Amen.
so leadership is everything. But I would say that the main purpose or the importance of it, especially at a young age in youth, is goal setting. You know,
Okay.
and when you're able to set goals, you're able to solve problems. You
Mm.
know, in order to solve a problem, you got to start with setting a goal,
Mhm.
right? And the best leaders are the guys and girls that
Mhm.
can solve problems. People don't
Mm.
want people in positions of power or in leadership don't want to deal with the problems. They want to put people in positions to solve problems. And so
Mm.
even at a very young age, I would say understanding how to set goals and how to communicate are really important, and really important leadership characteristics to
Mhm.
help solve problems, was ultimately is the foundation, I think, of leadership.
What was one of the issues or problems in a general sense in
Mhm.
your capacity
Yeah.
that you thought, I might not be able to do this, but I know you're a spiritual man.
No, yeah, yeah,
Probably had to solicit the help of God or whomever. What are
yeah.
maybe, either some of the problems or a problem that you had to
Mhm.
solve that you said, you know what, it was because of the relationships I've built or brokered, or the my obviously my relationship with God, or my leadership prowess.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think, I mean, here obviously at work, we're always looking to solve, some type of problem. It could be with a player, it could be with a staff member, it can be with, the department that I oversee. I oversee our scouting, our pro scouting, our college scouting, and our international scouting. And so
And
I
good
think,
job, by the way.
oh yeah,
Playoff. So good
yeah, yeah.
job.
We're on the way. We're on the way. God willing, God
Yeah,
willing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so one of the problems that I think when having when I think about that I had to solve was drawing a consensus from a group.
Mm.
And understanding how, if we make a mistake, how why did we make that mistake, and then how
Mhm,
can we learn from it? So we put in
mhm,
practices and processes
mhm,
that better help us
mhm.
understand, how we're getting to a decision. And
Mm,
so that was it's something that, obviously we all kind of came to come together, but spearheading that charge,
mhm.
so that we can make better decisions, I think was, something that I really take pride in terms of solving an organizational issue.
Right. And I was going to say, again, people trust you with any and everything nowadays because
Mhm.
of your
Yeah.
character. You have immense
Yes.
character. D.L. Moody says character is who you are when no one's looking. I've known you
Absolutely.
for a long time. You've always been, consistent with your character. So I
Thank
would
you.
imagine.
Thank you.
Also, so there's this big shift away from college degrees, right? Like due
Hmm.
to affordability or
Hmm.
utility.
Hmm.
Elon Musk even goes on the record and saying that, college is something that, that you really don't need, right? Even though he has
Right.
2 degrees, right?
Right.
2 college degrees. Um, but but we also know, like on average, college graduates they're going to make about 30,000 more a year than their non-degree counterparts. That's about 1.2 million in a lifetime. So, what are your
Wow.
thoughts about the utility of going to college? What
I
would you
think
say
it.
to those people?
Yeah. No. I'm always going to support education. Like it's the fabric of. It should be the fabric of every household, and it should be the fabric of this country, and the importance of it. The only way for you to get ahead is to pursue further education. Like you said, those numbers are staggering. Knowing that, over a course of a lifetime, you're able to build $1.2 million more in
Yeah.
wealth. And one of the things that I always hear you say is being able to pass it down,
Yeah.
and that's what our community needs. Our community needs the more education so that we can build that generational wealth, and then we can pass it on to the next generation. And that starts with education. And I know that you've always preached that. That's why you've done a phenomenal job with the Community for Life Foundation, and sowing that seed, and passing it into the next generation. So yes, I would say, although Elon Musk is a very successful businessman, I'm not going to take anything away from him. But the power of education really does stimulate all that he has achieved.
Amen. And when you talk to him, because I'm sure you're going to talk to him, when you do talk to him, make sure you just echo our sentiments here at the Community for Life Foundation. All right. So about the Community for Life Foundation. So why do you believe in our mission? You're a former recipient. You always represent us. You've gotten us stuff from Kobe Bryant and Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul. I mean, you've gotten us some things, to the foundation, and also you're a donor. You're also a sponsor. So why do you believe in the Community for Life Foundation?
One is obviously it's blessed me, but it also in many ways. So I grew up going to the ceremony and seeing, people like yourself that are now in positions of leadership and of real influence, and how it's blessed you. So it's and obviously it trickled down to me, and so I see year in and year out the impact that it has in people's lives. And I know obviously the founders, and I understand your heart behind it, and so it is, and it's just not a scholarship foundation. I mean, there's a lot of tentacles in a lot of areas that it touches, and a lot of people don't understand that. So yeah, I mean, you're giving, and a lot of those resources are poured into the scholarship foundation, but the amount of where this foundation, I shouldn't say scholarship foundation, where this foundation, the amount of people that it blesses, that's what ultimately blesses me, and that's why I believe in it, and I want to continue to keep giving into it.
Well, thank you. We really do appreciate not just the contribution, monetary contribution, but also what you represent on a day-to-day for us. So we really appreciate that. Now, we want to dive into, on August 13th, we have the Legacy of Learning Luncheon, right? And hopefully that day we're going to give $100,000 of scholarships. We usually give about $70,000 since our partnership with Wells Fargo, but we're looking at $100,000 in scholarships, right? So you're our keynote speaker, and we're very excited about that. What?
Hello. Did I pause, or let me see? Did I?
Hello.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
There you go. Okay. So you're gonna let me repackage that question. 3. All right. So we have the Legacy of Learning Luncheon on August 3rd. And that day, we're supposed to be giving $100,000 in scholarships. But we're very excited that you're going to be our keynote speaker for that day. So we want to ask you, what can our attendees expect to hear from you?
Well, a lot about what the foundation is. I think I'll hit on character, hit on leadership, and just hit on the pursuit of just excellence, ultimately. I think those three things will be what I mostly will focus on, and just having a good time, and making it fun, hopefully we can laugh, but ultimately it's about that night and the pursuit of obviously giving upwards up to $100,000, which is absolutely unbelievable. It'll be an exciting time and a fun time, and I'm hoping I can just be a very, very small piece in that whole pie, part of the pie.
Well, no, you'll be a very, very integral part. So I'm very excited about that. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and close up today. Like I said, I know you're busy. And any final thoughts you want to leave with our viewers tonight about the Community for Life Foundation, or just in education in general?
Yeah, no, if you have a heart to give, please do. $1 can go a long way. And so I know there's plenty of ways that you can sow into the Community for Life Foundation, but I would just say if you are impacted, or you do want to impact someone else's life, and not just that person, like to what Dr. Scott was talking about, that generational piece, because education is about building wealth ultimately as well. So if you're able to find something in you that wants to give, I would encourage you to look at doing that. It's a great seed to sow into.
Outstanding. Well, Bryson Graham, we are appreciative of you. We've been following your career, and we're super excited about everything that you're doing, and your name is being floated around as being one of the youngest GMs in NBA history. So we're excited about your catapult, all the great work, and especially the character that you exude on and off the court, in and out of the boardroom. So God bless you, and thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. As you all know, exactly, we are live. You're watching a live taping, so there's going to be some little mishaps here and there, and I just had a small correction. So our Legacy of Learning luncheon will actually be August 3rd, Marriott Airport, right here in San Antonio, where you can hear our very own Bryson Graham, assistant GM New Orleans Pelicans, as the keynote. And we are slated to give $100,000. So definitely be a part of that. Again, that's our Legacy of Legacy of Learning luncheon, August 3rd, Marriott Airport. Them introduce themselves. We are excited to have themselves, name, title, and then what is your relationship to the Community for Life Foundation? We're going to go ahead and start with Miss Gabriella Jackson. We'll go ahead and get started with her.
Hi, so I'm Gabrielle Jackson. I'm the marketing manager for Peachtree Rose Marketing, and I am a past recipient of the Community for Life Foundation Scholarship.
Okay, Mr. Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Fields, and I am the Executive Director for Colonial Gardens Memory Care, and I too am a past recipient of the Community for Life Foundation Scholarship.
Okay, let's. Yes, and Miss LaShawna Jordan.
Good evening. My name is LaShawna Jordan. I am the Community for Life Foundation Education Director.
Okay, and then now Mr. Gamble.
My name is Dion Gamble. I'm an executive director with Wells Fargo in the corporate treasury department.
Okay, and can you all, Gabby, we'll start with you. If you could discuss what is your interaction with and understanding of the Community for Life Foundation? What has the Community for Life Foundation meant to you?
So the Community for Life Foundation means a lot to me. I received 3 scholarships from them, and it really took the financial burden off of my family for me going to college. And it helped me pursue my education and get my degree and get me to where I am now in my career.
And what about you, Mr. Fields? I understand that you also were, as similar to Gabriella, you were also a multi-tiered recipient. You've received the scholarship several times in several different categories. So would you talk to us about your community, the impact Community for Life Foundation has had on you?
Absolutely. First of all, I'd absolutely like to start with that. It was a blessing. So it was an opportunity to open doors. Getting one scholarship alone was huge. And then getting a second one, as Gabby can attest, that just makes it even less pressure on our, financial burdens in order for us to get that education. So when you can, you're too blessed to be stressed, that's absolutely what that phrase comes from.
Awesome. And so we bounced around Community for Life Foundation. There might be some people watching today that they're not even familiar with who we are, what we do. And so thankfully we have our education director here, Ms. LaShawna Jordan. Director Jordan, can you talk to us what is the Community for Life Foundation? How many scholarships have been awarded? When will scholarships open? How can people apply? Can you talk to us about what is exactly the Community for Life Foundation?
Sure, Dr. Scott. So the Community for Life Foundation is a philanthropic organization that was founded by Chairman and Vice Chairman Keith and Denitra Graham over 20 years ago. Our mission is to service the community through mentoring program, life skill trainings, food donations, and of course, college scholarships, which is what we're discussing today. Our children are our future of the leaders of tomorrow, and it is our aim with the foundation to help them accomplish this goal by providing financial support to help reduce the cost and stress from the parents or the guardians. With the help of corporate and private sponsors, last year we hit our record providing 70,000 scholarships to 26 deserving students pursuing a full-time education. Therefore, as we enter our 23rd year, our goal is to provide $100,000 in scholarship to the tomorrow leaders of our community. And over the inception of the foundation, the Community for Life Foundation has awarded nearly 375 scholarships and over $813,000 to deserving students. We believe in students pursuing a higher education to gain a higher purpose in life, to make themselves more competitive and productive in the workforce while becoming transformational leaders. We stand by our mission to encourage and support learning today and leading tomorrow. So you ask, when will the scholarship period open? I'm excited to announce that our 2024-2025 Community for Life Foundation scholarship period will open this Friday, March the 15th. That is this Friday, March the 15th. We will have 11 scholarships available for students to select from to display their outstanding academic merits, their community and volunteer service involvement, distinguished accomplishments, and financial need. The scholarship period will close June the 7th, 2024. So we encourage you not to delay and miss this rewarding opportunity. Our scholarships, they can be located on the Community for Life Foundation website at cflfoundation.org. That is cflfoundation.org.
Outstanding. Now, listen, you heard it first, www.cflfoundation.org. CFL, as we talk about Lawrence, not the Canadian Football League, right? You got to make that distinction. cflfoundation.org, Community for Life Foundation. Thank you, Director Jordan. Now, listen, I, too, am a former recipient. I know you're like, the scholarship was back then in the Martin Luther King era. Yes. No, I'm joking. But I, too, was a 2003 recipient, and I was able to pursue my God-given gifts and mission and impact because of the scholarship. Director Gamble, it's people like you that are our private donors, our corporate sponsors that really help this thing happen. I got to ask you, why do you support and believe in the Community for Life Foundation's mission?
Well, I want to address it. One, Wells Fargo is pleased to be a corporate sponsor for Community for Life Foundation. We're called the Bank of Doing. You are part of the community in which we do business, but also where we serve. And I prefer to emphasize that part of where we serve. I live here in San Antonio. I am a part of this community. So that's from a Wells Fargo standpoint. From a personal standpoint, and I'm going to date myself a little bit because it was in the 80s, right? But when I left home to go to college, I had two $500 scholarships and a one-way ticket. All I knew was I wanted more and I wanted better. I didn't know what that looked like, but I wanted more. Those two $500 scholarships were able to get me in the door. And from there, I was able to work things out, financial aid, get additional scholarships, and then take me forward in my career. So when I think about Community for Life Foundation, being able to help students get their foot in the door, being able to give them that access and open doors is absolutely critical and very important. It resonates with Wells Fargo, with our beliefs, our mission, and also with me personally.
Outstanding, sir. And thank you for that. Now you mentioned, young people getting an opportunity, right, to make that optimal impact. I'm really curious, as an executive of a major corporation, why do you think that learning leadership skills is important, especially at a young age, especially at a collegeable age?
So one of the things, and when hiring talent, there's always two components, right? There is the tangible, the product knowledge. There are the intangibles. And it is easier to teach somebody the product to help them learn and develop, for example, corporate treasury expertise, than to teach them, right, emotional intelligence, how to, right, collaborate, right, how to resolve issues, challenging issues in a constructive manner, such as managing conflict resolution. So those leadership skills are absolutely important. They're critical to having a successful career, and it is important to learn them early. That way you don't spend a decade trying to unlearn bad behavior.
Okay, and I want to say, in addition to that kind of preparatory work, what other advice would you give to current scholarship recipients or youth of San Antonio?
One, I would say it doesn't matter where you start, it's where
Mhm.
you finish. Always keep that in mind, right? So, as you know, Dr. Scott, the good book says, don't despise the day of small beginnings, right? So, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But I would always say, always, and Bryson touched on this, right? The importance of networking,
Mhm.
be aware of your surroundings, always take the opportunity to be able to go over and introduce yourself to
Mhm.
someone. There's a saying, right? Never eat lunch alone, right? Never
Mhm.
eat alone if you can. Always be willing to connect, extend that handshake to somebody, be that welcoming person, right? So, um, some of those intangible or soft skills are absolutely very important and critical for success.
Thank you, Director Gamble. Now, Lawrence Fields, Lawrence, if you could talk about and I'll bring this to Gabrielle as well. Those soft skills, right? You know, what was your field of study, and how were you able to incorporate that what you learned in college and in life to real world situations, your real world mission?
Absolutely. So in school, it was business and marketing. So I always had the adage, you'll either be a part of a business or own one, right? So
Mhm.
why not get the foundation of how businesses run so that when you're asking those questions, you can learn and grow with how businesses operate. You know, some things may not make sense sometimes. I had a manager who always said, just cook the chicken. And I always had such a problem with that because I'm like, what about the seasoning? What are we doing? You know, like what are we doing with this chicken? And so
Why are there raisins in the potato salad? Like,
exactly right. So and I had to take those raisins out sometimes. And no, but you know, that portion of, you know, going through the business aspect, I knew I wanted to be a part of some sort of business or growth of a business. And then the marketing aspect allowed for me to think outside of the box. You always have to think from a creative standpoint, not just design or you know, aspects in color. It's if there's a challenge or a problem that comes about, how are we looking at this outside of just head on? Can we take it from this side or that side? Because not every challenge will be solved, but maybe we've learned how to deal with it as well. Because from that sales standpoint, and Gabby, you can probably speak to this too, you're going to get some no's. You're going to get some adversity that you have to overcome. And that part of it allowed me for what I'm doing now. When we get those challenges, whether it be, you know, maybe a resident's family or just understanding how to cope with what they're dealing with at that moment. And then also from the standpoint of the business is like, that's nice, but where the dollars going, where they coming from? You know, we got to keep that realistic expectation as well. So that's how I would say that impacted what I'm currently doing and my life now.
okay, and also, you know, Lawrence, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a while now, and I've seen you be able to converse with people from 18 to 81. Just having that ability to adequately adapt to any social situation, was that something that maybe was maybe helped or accentuated when you were in college?
Absolutely, it was sharpened. You know, you go in, especially you go in at what 18. I think Gabby went in at 16. She's bright.
Yeah.
So you go in, you know, you're just wide-eyed, nose wide open, all that stuff. You just, you know, you're trying to figure your life out. But as they put you through kind of the rigmarole of networking, communicating with people you've never met, learning from each situation, it just allowed you to really, you know, sharpen the communication skills. And
Mm.
so, because of that, and learning how to network and things of that nature, it absolutely gave me that opportunity to know what questions to ask, how to kind of do a little mini interview, but still keep it, you know, fun and light without, you know, a pen and paper or something next to it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Fields. Now, Ms. Gabrielle, same question to you. Like, how were the skills that you were able to maybe hone in or sharpen while you were in college, Gabrielle? How were you able to, um, you know, move forward in your understanding of what it means to be an impactful person on a day-to-day in your current marketing manager position.
So my degree is in marketing as well, and we had to take marketing electives, and one of the classes I took was personal selling. And in that class, we learned about meeting the client or potential client where they are. So, if you know that your client, wants to get business done up front, you just get to business, don't do small talk, or that they want to do small talk first and, build rapport. You do that. And I've really been able to apply that in business with clients and potential clients and with networking as well. So we have to network every month. We meet different people from different industries, and you definitely start with like getting to know them. You kind of feel out the situation to see if they want to talk about business first off, or if they just want to, build rapport with you and then talk about business later.
Mm-hmm.
And taking those classes at UTSA has definitely helped me in my career now.
Okay. And yeah, I too went to UTSA, but at A&M San Antonio. No indictment. We're all inclusive. A&M and UT systems, we're all inclusive. Okay, thank you for that. And again, Gabrielle, you were also a recipient of varying scholarships, correct? Of the Community for Life Foundation.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to go into, if I may, I'll stay with you, Ms. Jackson. Can you talk about the process, right? I've been a part of different scholarship foundations, and I gotta say that because of people like our director Jordan and many others, Lamonde Fields, we have a very streamlined process, and I want to talk about your experience with applying to the Community for Life Foundation, and then even after you applied and received the scholarship, what that experience is like once you're already in college. I believe they give we give care packages or whatever. So can you talk a little bit about that process that our directors, Jordan and Fields, have streamlined for us over the years?
Yes. So whenever you go to apply, you go on the website. There's the main Community for Life scholarship, and then there's also the different scholarships that honor other people. And it seems like a lot at first, but you just go click on each scholarship, you look through all the requirements, you get your stuff in order. I would say take about a week just so you can like get your essays written out and make sure all your stuff is together and check and double check all of your things as well. And then if you do receive a scholarship, you usually get an email or you get a letter in the mail, and they give you instructions on where to meet and everything for the ceremony. So everything is pretty easy. Everything's streamlined, everything's organized. So it's very good. It's a very good process.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I promise we did not pay her to say that, Ms. Jordan. She said it in her own volition. All right. Lawrence Field, would you like to address that as well?
Absolutely. Mine was a little further back. So after we chiseled out our application, or it was with a quill, once we got all the essays together, and if there were any questions, I think that's probably one of the biggest parts. They were available and willing to answer those, because like she said, it can be overwhelming. Heck, I'm sure it could cause some people to stop midway through and they're like, I'll just get a part-time job. I don't know. But at that point, if you are, a little bit confused, or you feel like you're just being inundated with questions, they are willing to help you through that process and, allow you to really get a fair chance at the scholarship.
Okay, good deal. And Ms. Jordan, to that point, Director Jordan, I want to talk to you about, some people in the past may have not completed the application in totality or its entirety, and there may have been some things missed. And so what we wanted to do, one of the reasons why we partnered with TAN TV, the African American Network, is to make sure that we get this information out to a broader audience, make sure that everyone hears, how to apply for our scholarship, and make sure you're paying attention to certain ways the questions are asking certain things or nuance or things to turn in. Can you talk to us about, when people look at this again, and we'll probably have this on our website, when they look at this broadcast again, what are some things they can really focus on when they're doing their application?
Yes, Dr. Scott. First, I want to make sure to clarify where our scholarships are located. The website is www.clf.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that again. It is www.cfl, spell out foundation, clffoundation.org. So cflfoundation.org is the address where our URL is for our scholarships. So the recommendations that I will provide to the applicants, I have 7 that I think are very important and critical for the applicants. First and foremost, you want to ensure that you read and follow all instructions on the application. Ensure to pay attention to all the details regarding the requested documents that are being asked for you to upload into the particular areas of the scholarships. 3, you want to make sure you plan ahead. As it was said earlier, you want to plan ahead, set a time on your calendar to make yourself a checklist if one is not provided. Don't want to wait till the last minute and you're trying to gather up all these documents and requirements together, because it can become very overwhelming. 4, you want to have your own internal due dates. So when you're making your calendar, setting your calendar to accomplish this time period to submit your online application, have a set calendar and time due date for you to have all your letters of recommendations back, to have your essay completed, and to have your transcripts completed. Have all that together, have your own internal date to help you to have a smooth process, and have a date to where you're going to sit down and write your essay, and another date to where you're going to go back and review your essay or send it to someone else to review for you. 5th, I will recommend that you have someone to review your packet before beginning the online application process. So you can already be set up and ready to go. So all that you're doing when you're going on there to submit and begin the online process, and you're just uploading the required documents into the required fields. And with that will be my second recommendation is all the requested documents that are required for the scholarship, go ahead and put them into a separate folder on your computer. So therefore, when you're trying to go upload documents, you're not searching through your computer or through multiple files. You have all the requirement documents for the Community for Life Foundation scholarships, whether it's for the Community for Life Foundation scholarship or for the Memorial scholarships or for the graduate scholarship that we have. You have them all in one folder. So you're going to that one folder to attach those documents, and you don't accidentally attach the wrong document. And lastly, remember, this is a competitive process. Multiple students and applicants are looking for funds to help, to help them through their higher education. So you don't want to knock yourselves out of the race for a potential scholarship just because you didn't take the time to plan, prepare, and to dot your I's and cross your T's.
absolutely. And unfortunately, we've seen some people have a stellar application. However, there were some things missed, and because of that, unfortunately, they were disqualified. And a lot of times we get quite a bit of applicants. We're not able to get back to each applicant and tell them exactly why. And so we're being very preemptive and letting them know now, this is what you need, itemized. This is what you need. Okay. And Mr. Gamble, we talked about leadership earlier, and we want to produce a very productive, educated citizenry to lead their generations, create a better world. So when you talked about soft skills, what are some additional soft skills or areas of study that people should be studying now, entering the college now, to prepare for future positions?
One, critical thinking is absolutely important. Several people, have already touched on that earlier today in this conversation, but especially Bryson. There is not a problem that there is not a solution and answer for. So managers, corporations, people in general, they're looking for people that can solve problems. So being able to step back, evaluate a problem, evaluate a situation, and then to be able to propose a solution is absolutely critical for success. So critical thinking is important. I People tend to talk about IQ, right? Your intelligence quotient, but I like to emphasize, right, emotional quotient, right? So how people act under pressure
Mm,
tells you a lot about the person, the individual, their character. Um, Managers, people are always watching.
mm,
So I always tell people, right, you're always being evaluated. People
mm,
are observing you when you're not aware of it. So you want to be able to show and conduct yourself in a manner where you are exhibiting, right, emotional intelligence, right? So there are going to be times, right, with conflict resolution, you're going to have to deal with challenging different people, right? Different colleagues, different clients, right? But how you can defuse situations, right? And reach for common ground, right? And collaborate is absolutely very important. So, critical thinking is important, right? That emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence is important, and also time management, right? We all are juggling numerous tasks, responsibilities, right?
mhm.
So, being able to prioritize, which ties into the critical thinking, but then being able to execute and manage your time appropriately is very important. We all get 24 hours in a day. It's how you manage your time.
And I know, Director Jordan, you also work in HR as well. Is there anything you might want to add to that as well? Some of the things that you all look for in prospective employees, or not? Because I know
You hit it
to the
on
rate.
yeah, yeah. He was yeah. I definitely agree with being a problem solver, being able to think critically, and then being able to recognize and manage your time, and those soft skills are truly important elements and characteristics and qualities to have when trying to pursue your work or career to the next level. And and I think what's also important too is being able to have a good mentor, a
Mm,
mentor that can also help you to help you evaluate and help with the wisdom of the
mm,
past and the future, and being able to guide you with some of the critical life elements and life challenges that you're going to run across. Everything is not going to be peaches and roses, and there are going to be some challenges, but being able to have someone there that you can reach out to, that you can call and ask, what is the next step, or how do I move forward from here, or what do you recommend, is it's also critical to have.
outstanding, outstanding. And you mentioned mentors. I have a mentor, Pastor Keith Graham. Some of you may know. And one of the things he helped me understand and see is not to chase the money, right? Chase, God, your God-given mission. Don't chase the money. And I love to just open that to all of us here. Uh, all including Bryson Graham. Everybody here has made quite a bit of money. We've done well for ourselves, but talk about, we didn't chase the money. Obviously, you're here, and so we're talking about the foundation. You didn't chase the money. Can you talk about that? I guess disparate view of you know not chasing the money versus chasing the money, or going to work as opposed to pursuing a mission. Can we? Any of y'all want to open it up? Can you talk about that?
If I may,
Yes, sir.
um, money is a tool. The goal of life is not money,
Mm,
right? And while money is necessary to live in this world, right? We all have bills, things to pay, but money shows you who you are and what you do with it, right? So as they say, right, we're blessed to be a blessing, right? Um, so I always encourage people to your point, find something that resonates with you, with your spirit, that you believe you were called to do, and excel in those areas. And with that, the financial part of it will come. The money will be there. So, but I don't believe in chasing money. And I think it is extremely important to have a right relationship with money.
mm, I love that.
Money is a tool. If you are a good person and you're challenged in your finances and you have a windfall, you will be a good person. If you are a not so good person and you're broke, if you win the lotto, you still are going to be that same person, right? So
Mhm.
money lets you know, and it's a reflector, right? It lets you know who you are as an individual, your
Mm.
relationship with money. That's my humble opinion.
Outstanding. I remember there was a quote that says, money is a magnifier, right? But then there's also a quote that says, money doesn't buy happiness; it buys the misery we enjoy, right? But anyway, that was just a quote I saw. Anyone else want to talk about that, about the money situation? Because we have students right now literally pursuing right now they're seniors in high school and they want to pursue a particular profession, but they're looking based on the money and not on maybe their, like Mr. Gamble said, their personal mission. Anyone else want to talk about that?
I'd like to kind of piggyback on what he said. There's a quote that says success is a byproduct. And I feel money would be in the same realm. And so if we're looking for the dollar, everybody knows money can't make you happy, right? You'll enjoy, like you stated, those things while you're in your misery. But if you're actually doing what is on your heart and something that you enjoy and love to do, that will be a byproduct of what you're doing and what you're spearheading from here versus just, okay, I need that dollar amount. Because it's easy to, heck, you could have been a part of Enron. You just got the best job. You're excited because you chased that dollar, but without the due diligence of what was happening in the background or why you were actually doing it. Well, then you're in that fail, like he said. That you could have been just somewhere else, growing another business or doing something in the future. So I do agree with what he was saying as well.
Okay. Anyone else like to talk about that as well?
So
I would just
John,
add that, I do agree with, oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
I would just add that, I do agree with the concept of not chasing money, but I think it's important for us to, install in the youth or those that are pursuing a higher education that, it's important to have money management skills, because having great or good money management skills can help you pursue your goals and help you be able to utilize your God-given talents and skills to bless others and to give back to the community and give out to scholarships as to what we're doing today, to be supporters. And, it would allow you to follow whatever that calling that God has put into you by having those good skills.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Director Jordan. Gabrielle, would you like to expound on that?
Yes. So another thing I feel like with chasing money, if you're chasing money in your career, you might end up in a job that you hate. You wake up every day dreading going to work. You're going to be miserable. Whereas if money is just a byproduct of what you're doing, if you're using your skills and talents and you're enjoying what you're doing, the money's going to come later regardless. But you're also going to be content in your job and what you're doing.
I love it. I love it. And content, very powerful and operative word. Yes, yes. Now we have our last few minutes here, and we're gonna end with a couple of questions here. I want to open this one up to everyone. I opened it up to Bryson earlier, but Elon Musk. There's been a pretty much an attack on college degrees, right? People saying due to affordability or utility that college isn't that important. Like I said, Elon Musk even talked about how he's looking for people, particularly, not because they have a college degree, but he has 2 college degrees, right? So on average, those with college in a lifetime will make about $1.2 million more than those who do not have college degrees, right? About 30,000 a year than their non-degree counterparts. So I want to just go around the room and just talk about why college? Why college? Right? Why college? And again, you have technical schools that, when I say college, I mean post-secondary education or post-high school education. We have trade schools. Why go to school after high school? Why?
If I can start, I would say, yes, you do have trade schools, you have certifications you can obtain. You get into coding, you can kind of bypass a few of those things. But I do feel that college opens doors outside of just the success portion of it. The people you meet, the connections you make, the bonds that are created as well, and you experience life in kind of a small microcosm in one campus, right? Whether you're meeting different personalities, the different professors you come about, that open a door into something else that you probably never would have gotten into if it didn't expand your mind. Before having the internet, you only knew what was around you. Now you have the internet, you can see what is happening in India and China and Africa and things like that. And that's things that education does, is it opens up your opportunity, it opens up your mind, and it thus grows you into a much better individual. Not that those that don't, become a better individual, but it gives you an opportunity and a leg up, which would be that 1 million point two. And again, even though it's not always about the money, that mental health is also wealth as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, and just to be clear, thank you so much, Mr. Fields. Just to be clear, we have scholarships for vocational programs, right, Director Jordan? We absolutely have scholarships for people that are pursuing like STEM fields, thanks to the great sponsors, Mario and Kim Ruiz and many others at the My Collision sector. But yeah, so we do have tech schools and things. We do have scholarships for that. So we want to broaden it up. Why education after high school, right? Why? I just want to work at McDonald's and make a McDifference. Why do I have to go to school after high school? I'm just asking. Please clarify, someone.
I would say it opens you up to so many opportunities. Like Lawrence was saying, you meet new people. You're all kind of in the same part of life, and you're able to work with each other to figure things out and how you're going to go about your career, and you can make new connections. But also study abroad is available. So it gives you an opportunity to live in another culture, and that opens your eyes to a whole new set of learning. And it opens you up to a new network that you may not have gotten if you were just working at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Making a McDifference.
Right.
If I may touch on that point real quick.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gary.
I've had the opportunity to work and live abroad. So a bank before Wells Fargo, but they actually sent me to Asia. So I spent a year and a half in Hong Kong, 2.5 years in Singapore on the company dime. My kids were in international school, etc. And the reason I mentioned that exposure changed my perspective. It opened incremental doors for me. It increased my compensation. So to the point, right, that they were making, that opportunity of college, it opens doors, that exposure. And you're not going to have that exposure, nothing against McDonald's, but you're not going to get that exposure, right, working at McDonald's. So it gives you increased exposure, opportunity. And one thing I always do when I'm mentoring anyone, I take a blank sheet of paper and I draw a circle, big circle, say that's whether it's Wells Fargo or that's your university, right? And then I put a little dot and I say, that's you. My point in saying that, there's a whole world out there, right? So you don't want to be confined to a little fraction of the world when there's an entire world out there.
Outstanding. Mr. Director Jordan, did you want to expound?
Yes, I would add, and historically, African Americans, they saw education as an important step towards achieving equality, independence, and prosperity. And that still holds true today. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plan to give you hope and future." So a higher education is not only important for career building, but it also helps with pursuing a purpose of life. In college, you learn resiliency. You learn that, it provides the opportunity for success. It provides the opportunity to make mistakes and to fail. So when you have those professors or mentors around you while you're in college, while you're trying to learn your higher education, they can assist you through those mistakes with life tools that can be successful for you long-term and not just short-term. And today we are seeing, an all-time high of mental health issues, as mentioned earlier, in our youth and young adults, because they feel that it's the end of the world if they fail at a task or if they don't see the immediate gratification in what they're seeking. Higher education, it teaches us not only to not to allow our downfall to determine our future. Continue with hope. Nelson Mandela stated that education is the most powerful tool that we can utilize to change the world. And we all have either been taught or heard that we must be the change that we want to see. So leading with a sharp mind, it creates more positive changes than running towards challenges with the sharp sword. So therefore, for me, higher education is just a positive and powerful tool to empower students to be individuals, to utilize their God-given skills and talents to be competitive in the workforce, to continue serving others, to achieve prosperity and that generational wealth to live in this all-time and rising economic society.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, thank you so much, Director Jordan. This is our last question of the evening. I know you're not ready to go, but and I know you at home watching, you're not ready for us to leave, but we have to go ahead and curtail. We're going to go on our last question. Our last question is more philosophical in nature, right? You're speaking to the 16, 17-year-old you. You're on the cusp, about to graduate. You're speaking to that person. What would you say to that person? Mr. Fields, we'll start with you.
I probably have to say with don't give up, persevere. A lot of the times what kids today are inundated with is what success looks like. You have to make a certain dollar amount. You have to look a certain way. You have to do a certain thing. Doing it from the ground up is you're doing it wrong. You have to have the LLC, all that stuff that, you're being thrown at, especially with social media. Block it out, persevere, find your goal and keep moving.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. Gabrielle Jackson.
I would say have faith and persevere. There's going to be some bumps along the way, but you're going to get through it and you're going to enjoy where you end up.
Nice. All right. And we'll go ahead, and Mr. Gamble, we'll go ahead with you.
Same thing. Persistence pays off. Every no gets you closer to a yes. So you have to be resilient. I said it at the beginning. It is not where you start. It is where you finish. You are capable. You can do it. You can achieve. You can overcome. So be encouraged. You have it within you to make and build the life that you want for yourself.
Outstanding. That's going to be my new ringtone every time Lawrence Fields calls me. That's my new ringtone. All right. Mr. Gamble's exhortation. All right. And Director Jordan.
I ditto all 4 comments already stated for moving forward and pursuing being perseverance. I would just add on to that, use the acronym PUSH, pray until something happens. Know that it's not an all ends all ends when something doesn't go right the first time. Doesn't go right the second time. It may not even go right the third time, but continue pushing. You know that, there's always an ends to the means, and know what your goal is. Write your goal down. We talk a lot, we text a lot, but write your goal down somewhere that you can constantly see it and use that as your method or your perseverance to keep going when challenges, come your way, and continue to pray until, you reach the goal of happiness and life fulfillment of purpose that you were looking for.
Outstanding. So yes, PUSH acronym. That's my new screensaver. Got it. Well, listen, thank you all so much. My goodness, we had an amazing conversation. I absolutely want to thank our producer, Laura Thompson, who's also the CEO of TAN TV. Again, TAN TV, the African American Network, has a local feel, but a global reach. I was your host, Dr. Lawrence Scott from the Community for Life Foundation. And we'd like to thank our esteemed panelists for the evening, Director LaShawna Jordan, Mr. Lawrence Fields, Gabrielle Jackson, and Mr. Dion Gamble, and for helping us understand why it's important to look into the Community for Life Foundation Scholarship. We'd also like to thank Mr. Bryson Graham, who was able to join us earlier in the episode. And again, we're seeing people making an indelible impact and helping today's learners become tomorrow's leaders. If you want to apply for the scholarship, you can go to our website. Again, it's www.cflfoundation.org. Again, that's www.cflfoundation.org. We're looking to give $100,000 today in scholarships. Again, $100,000 this year in scholarships in our August 3rd luncheon. All right. And then last but not least, again, our August 3rd luncheon will be the Legacy of Learning Luncheon. It'll be at the San Antonio Marriott Airport location. And again, if you want to see Mr. Bryson Graham again, I call him Mr. NBA, NBA and NBA, but he will be our keynote for the evening. So we're looking forward to that as well. So outside of that, thank you all so much for tuning in to the African American Network and its collaboration with Community for Life Foundation. And we look forward to seeing your scholarship application. Thank you so much. God bless.